What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Speaking of Stadia. I am, of course, one of your hosts, Aaron Cini, and as with me always, the bearded, beautied beast himself, my favorite John Krasinski on the internet, too tall, Jacob Porter. Jacob, how the hell are you?
Good. Actually, on the John Krasinski topic. So,
Yeah.
apparently there's this very popular TikTok couple. They're not really a couple. They're doing duets together.
Okay.
The one girl looks like Pam. The other one looks like Jim. The one that looks like Pam kind of looks like Pam. I guess kind of has the same vibe. The guy that looks like Jim looks nothing like Jim. So my wife keeps trying to get me to shave off the beard, and I'm not going to, but I might actually, when I do clean it up, I might at least try to do it, and because I think I look enough like Jim.
You put Nicole in a Pam costume, and you give that couple a run. No.
Well, what we're talking about, they're not actually a couple. They're just like, they started doing duets, like they kind of don't know each other at all.
Oh, okay.
But I should just duet. My wife said you should just duet with her.
Oh.
And randomly, like anyone can just like a remix on someone else's like half of the video. So
nice.
But right now I look very non-John Krasinski with the beard this long. I know you were like going at it beforehand. I am going to trim it up tomorrow.
That's okay. It looks good though. I like it. It looks much better than the mistakes I've made recently going down to the handlebar mustache. But
it's beautiful. Don't.
We raise money
we
for the
shame
big beautiful
facial
kids.
hair here.
What's that?
We do not shame facial hair.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love that. Shout out to Jess, Erica, and Mel for helping raise money for the big beautiful kids during Extra Life. I threw out a challenge on Twitter, said I would shave down to the mustache, and here we are. So it's coming in nicely. And not to bring this feud back up, but just so y'all know, I have some damning evidence coming against Mel here shortly on Twitter. So pay attention to that. Sus. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Awesome. Well, this is officially the 12th episode. Unlike last time when I said it was the 12th episode, this is now actually the 12th episode of Speaking of Stadia. So let's dive in the show where we talk all things Stadia. So
let's start by talking not about Stadia. How's PS5 going?
I know it's weird to I do this a lot when we say, what are you playing? Yes, I did get my hands on a PS5. I was able to pre-order it. I picked it up day one. I took off. I made a 4-day weekend out of it and just went to town.
Which is why we haven't recorded yet.
Yeah.
Not entirely, but
a little bit. I did pick up 3 games, and then
besides
obviously Astro Bar, was built in. So I picked up Sackboy so me and my kid could play that. I picked up Miles so me and him could also play that because me and him platinumed the first Spider-Man together. It was his first platinum. And then I picked up Demon Souls for me.
Okay.
Miles is everything I wanted. I love Spider-Man on PS4. It's fantastic.
I'm assuming besides Peter's face animations.
Yeah, that does bother me. He looks so young, and that's a bummer because I thought the first one was so perfect. And because I said, I platinumed it on PS4, so I was so used to that face that this one, it doesn't jive well.
Yeah, any of the animations on like the reskinning of the original game, that all the like big moments just like fall flat. Like there's no like
doesn't have that same.
I kind of like this could be the option to choose. Like
right. Oh God, I'd love that.
I know, right? But anyway, so you're enjoying that?
Love Miles. Yeah. Miles himself is super fantastic. His swing animations are a lot more wild and crazy. Like you can tell he's like new to this, where I thought Peter in the first game being 8 years in was just way more confident. It's a really nice origin story, and the voice actor who plays Miles, he's up for Game Award now for best performance. He's fantastic. And then the abilities make it feel very different. You get the Venom Punch, you get the invisibility. It was a perfect way to not make me feel like you just reskinned it with Miles. Like it does feel like its own game. And I really respect that. Demon Souls is whooping my ass.
I was gonna say, do you have any like experience with the past Souls games, Bloodborne included?
I played through the first 2 bosses of Bloodborne before it lost me, and then I got over halfway through Sekiro.
Okay.
Loved Sekiro, but I got to a point that I literally tried for 4 or 5 days straight to beat one boss, and I was like,
yeah, that's the breaking point. It's like, okay.
Nah. So, but because those two experiences I enjoyed enough early on. I'm really enjoying my time with Demon Souls. I'm really bad at it. I'm not through the second boss yet, but it's fun. And then Sackboy is gorgeous and such a delightful platformer, and me and my kid giggle a lot playing that game. And then we platinumed Astrobot. Astrobot was the perfect tech demo for this controller, which is incredible.
Like it has an 8. Like it has like an 8 point something on Metacritic. It's like,
yeah, it's ridiculous. And not only is it a good tech demo for the controller, which the DualSense is amazing. It is absolutely a fantastic controller in every sense, not just like the cool haptics and everything that it does. It also is just a good feeling controller. It's nice to hold. I love the heft behind it. I like the texture. It's probably one of the more comfortable controllers I've ever held. But Astrobot, not only a good tech demo, it's also just a really adorable celebration of PlayStation. I hope Stadia has something like this someday after, years of having all these cool things. Because yeah, it was so fun for me being that Sony person who's had every iteration, including the PS1. Every level is dedicated to a different system, and it was glorious. I really, really adore that game and can't say enough nice things about it.
Awesome.
So and then
something for me to look forward to next year when I get
that's right, especially when they're not crashing and rebuilding hard drives right off the bat.
Is that really? Oh, by the way, God, why you always? I kept looking it up on there. Asher's Playroom. Okay, 83 on Metacritic. So yeah, it's fantastic for a pack-in. Yeah, I heard there's a bunch of issues. That's why I wait usually like 6 months at least to get a console, just because I don't want to have to deal with all the issues like the Joy-Con desyncing, and like let them figure all of those manufacturing things out, software things out, and all get the real 1.0 as opposed to the like.
It's almost like it's in beta, right?
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues with mine. It's been running pretty smooth. It's whisper quiet, which is great. Runs really well, but on the Stadia side, I've been kind of just running through the same old, to be honest. I've been playing a little bit of Doom. I've been playing a little bit of Monster Boy. It's weird how much I dabble in Stadia.
Oh, absolutely. I was gonna talk about that probably today as well. So you can go start with that.
Yeah. So it's one of those things me and you've always talked about the convenience factor, right? Like if I only have 30, 40 minutes to hop into something, I like cycle through the library for a good 5 minutes and then I pick. So I've been just kind of messing around with all the stuff that I've always messed around with. I haven't really tried anything new, to be honest, especially again with PS5. But I don't know. I also really enjoy that about Stadia and its pressure freeness of just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to play this for a little bit. I've also been trying to put it up against Game Pass even more. Typically, if I'm in a Stadia session, I get really curious and I jump over to Game Pass, especially with the Kishi controller, of just really wanting to like feel out everything. And I gotta say, man, Stadia just, I know it sounds so biased on a Stadia podcast, but it genuinely, the tech just genuinely works better every single time I try the two. Whether it's even games that run well on Game Pass, they're just like, they're maybe not as crisp, or I do find those little bit of like bumps and weird little issues. Ori, I'm finding more on mobile as I keep getting into that you have those weird little latency issues.
Yeah.
Whereas Stadia is just, it always feels console smooth to me, unless the game itself is broken, which I know I brought up on previous episodes, but NBA is always going to be my go-to example of like, hey, it's okay when it doesn't work. But that just felt so the game didn't work. It didn't feel like Stadia. I tried it several different ways. I tried it hardwired. I tried it wirelessly. I tried it on mobile, laptop, desktop. And it was like, okay, cool. This just doesn't work. Whereas I feel like all the issues I'm running into on Game Pass games, they're spread across all the games.
Yeah, it's a platform issue, not a game issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Optimization issue for that game. So
what have you been dabbling in lately?
I just also want to pull up. I still play a bit of Monster Boy.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of slowly moving through that here and there. I actually tried it out Sundered.
Nice.
A good I sat down for probably a good hour and a half at least with that game. It's like I have no idea really what I'm doing. I'm just running through things, and it's a Metroidvania. Like that's why I kind of get the vibe of it. It seems very Metroidvania, where you're going through and getting like there's a bunch of doors I can't
multiplayer, isn't it?
Sundered, no. Risk of Rain is. I know
okay.
that.
I
Which
must
I
be
did
mixing
jump
them up.
into that last night, and I know what Risk of Rain is. It's a roguelike game where you get different powers that kind of like augment your character. Like you can get, at least in the Risk of Rain 1, you can get like different abilities. Like there's a 2D platform, but this is all 3D now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do a good job of telling you what the objective is, what you're
Okay.
trying to do, where you're trying to go. So I just got running around killing things. Eventually, I got to a point where I found a boss, and it just one shot, like not one shot me, but it obliterated yeah, pretty much one shot me.
You were dead.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that was an experience. I'll play this again some other time. Actually, one of my friends recently got Stadia with 3 months of Stadia with his Pixel 5.
Ooh,
So he actually sent me.
yeah.
He actually wants to play some games with me soon, so I might actually try to play with him. He was an old man. I had to go to bed early last night, but he's like, I sent you an invite, but then I realized I need to go to bed. So I hope he will try Risk of Rain or something else. I Well, I guess I'll talk about a game that I have played that is now on Stadia, which I guess we'll talk about later on this month's games. But The Garden Between, I don't think I talked about it last time.
The only thing you said last time about this game is that it's an absolute must for this guy.
Okay, so I did talk about it. I can't remember if I talked about it or not. I want to see how it runs on Stadia. I'm sure it runs fine. It's a very simple game, but that game is still as beautiful. Still doing a little bit of Celeste. There's a bunch of games I like. Again, it gets to the point where I sit there and look through this list. I'm like, it's all these games I want to play. Like, I want to get back into Super Hot Mind Control Delete, but then I just like, people love Game Pass, and I understand why. I had the 3-month trial of Game Pass on my PC, and I actually kind of liked having it on my PC because the library's a little more limited. So I can only in my PC, the PC I was playing on my laptop. And that has even more restrictive specs. So like I can only play this much of the catalog, and made it a lot easier for me actually of an experience. Where if I had every game at my disposal, I feel like I would just sit there scroll through like, what game do I want to play? There's got to be a better game than the one I'm thinking of out there that I can play right now. That's like what I'm feeling. I feel like I would never make a decision. And I know a lot of people have that with Netflix too. Like you go to Netflix, like, what am I even going to watch today?
Yeah, you're like frozen in indecision, right?
And
it's the paradox of too many options.
And like Stadia is getting to the point where the Pro library, where they're giving you so many games, like it's to the point where it's like this is almost almost half the library at this point if you started from the beginning, and it's almost too much now. So it's like, but yeah, I want to go back and jump and play more. I actually haven't had a ton of time the last week or so to play.
Sure.
And when I have played, I've also jumped into the games like Hades, or I've been playing some more League of Legends again. I actually jumped in and played Apex Legends the other night with a buddy of mine. I still freaking love that game. I want that game on Stadia, especially now they have cross-platform play, so you can
all day.
But yeah, I love it. Apex Legends is the game that like every single time I pick it up, I'm like, wow, this game just feels so fun. Like it just is so smooth, and I always pick it up and feel right at home with that game. So so yeah, I'm playing some more competitive stuff off of Stadia, but
nice.
Yeah, where I'm at.
This is dumb, but that for me, and it's mostly because my kid also plays it and is also pretty good at it, is Fortnite. That's the game that I can always just come back to and jump into, and it runs so damn good on the PS5.
Have they done the patch yet for the PS5 enhancements? I know there's a patch for that, right?
Yeah, and it silky smooth, looks great, quick loading times. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's the last thing I'll say about the PS5 before we move on to the news. The loading times, I know everyone's talking about that for that and the Xbox, and I had heard about it before I got to it. Unreal. I check Twitter so much less. The activity cards, I just found out. So like Miles already, if I go into the game and I get to the menu and I hit continue, it's less than 5 seconds every single time to get into the game. I just found out on the activity cards, you can like go down and it'll say, okay, here's your mission. Here's about how long it's going to take. And then you can actually just hit play and it'll just skip the menu and jump you straight into game within that 4 seconds. And it will target that mission on your map. So if I have side quests or main quests, I can go to the activity cards and say, okay, I actually want to work on this side quest that says it'll only take me 15 minutes. I hit play within 4 seconds. I'm not only in the map, but that is now marked on my map, the
I
side
love that.
quest instead of the main
That's so
quest.
cool. That's awesome.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So there are some next gen things that I wasn't sure it was going to feel super next gen because I thought the PS4 Pro was like really powerful and the Xbox One X was really powerful. And I thought we were there. Like I was like, how much difference is this really going to make? No, it's here. Tech
Yeah,
has leapt forward and it's
and
cool.
and that's something you can't get like a PC has, you can put an NVMe ME SSD in there and do the same kind of speeds. Like yes and no, you can get really good speeds, but not quite to the integrated system.
Right.
Especially how Sony has been marketing it and talking about, like with Mark Cerny talking about that tech. This different level of integration you can get by having an isolated platform.
100%.
Apple, as you can see from Apple kind of optimized the hell out of their thing because they make the chips, they make the hardware,
Yes.
they make the software, so it's a better experience if you want something that's locked into that.
Right.
That's the
So,
PC and console, but then but the also the, like you said, the activities like that extra layer is something you won't ever get on PC.
yeah,
So it's kind of cool to see them really take advantage of the hardware like that.
100%. Awesome. Well, now let's dive into the news of Stadia. We don't have a ton to cover today, but I think we have a lot of fun speculation that we'll go over.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very, very excited. And let's start. You already mentioned this very briefly, but Stadia continues to add so many games to Pro. So many games, which I think is awesome. This month, they have added Risk of Rain 2, Republic, Sundered, the Eldritch Edition, Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, The Gardens Between, and Sniper Elite 4. Porter, how do you feel about this lineup?
Well, I already talked about three of these games. Then, Garden Between, go play it. It's really quick, fun. You're gonna enjoy it. The 2 hours you get with it.
And you like love.
I love that game. Right? I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I think the problem was the price. I wouldn't pay $20 for it. I did pay $20 for it, and I probably wouldn't. I would not recommend anyone else pay $20 for it.
Hold on.
I
wouldn't pay $20 for it because I did pay $20 for it. So if I went back, would not do it again. But for free, I would buy absolutely worth it.
Yeah, well, include free. But
sure.
Sundered, I thought was the time I spent was great. I do want to go back to it. It was enjoyable enough. I've heard good things about Republic, so I do want to give that a shot. Yeah, Risk of Rain, the first one I've heard glowing things about. And I know two of my friends play 2 a little bit. So
okay.
Again, I didn't really know what was going on, but I think the gameplay was fun enough. Hopefully the loop is good, better. What I had my one experience with it, though. Hello Neighbor, I jumped in to try it.
Did you?
I don't know what I don't know why I did. I was just like, let me see what this is. And the whole opening sequence is so odd. Like there's no, it's just I just don't get the allure of those games. I just don't. Like I tried it and nothing. It wasn't clear on what I needed to do when I opened the game. Like it's like you go into the house and there's like the neighbor guy that's like the villain,
the creeper.
He has like 2 kids, and like you're like one of the kids, and you're going to try to hide from the other kid. The other kid finds you, and then you go into you go into this like door, it brings you to like another world, like a random thing in the house, and then that's where I got to. I'm like, what am I even doing right now? And then I got stuck somewhere, and then like they found me. I'm like, I don't want to redo all this again. Just very odd. I just know nothing about it seemed interesting to me. So
I got to tell you, nothing about Hello Neighbor has ever struck me as something I want to play.
No.
When the first one came out and kids were kind of going crazy over it, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know what the hell this is. I'm good. So even like the build world that Stadia is gonna get, like I'm into the concept or whatever, but yeah. But just I don't know. Nothing about this world even intrigues me. I downloaded it so my kid could try it because I know it's popular with the old kiddos, as they say. But I said download like that's a thing. I claimed it.
Well, I claim every game no matter what because you never know.
Right. You just never know.
But then Sniper Elite, I've heard again good things about overall. Like I've heard people
Yeah,
like this series. Like this series, it's not for everyone, but it's a good game. So
it's one
good
of those things
games
that I
overall.
always just feel like it looks like generic Call of Duty to me. I don't know anything about Sniper Elite, so I haven't paid that close of attention. So that's a very ignorant comment. When it popped up, I was like, oh, okay, sure.
Willing to
So,
jump in there and give it a shot.
yeah. Sweet. Well, I will play Gardens Between. I will play Sniper Elite. I will ask my kid what he thinks of Hello Neighbor. And then you played Sundered and you said good, yes.
Yeah, I would try. I
Republic,
mean,
I don't know a ton about.
I don't know a ton about it either, but I remember people talking well about it.
Fair.
It's a game I want to try. It's an older game though. I mean, that I
Okay.
there for a bit.
Nice.
Um,
And then next up, Stadia
The
just
really big news.
continues to give away free things, not just games, but recently Stadia Premiere was free for select YouTube Premium subscribers and for all users on a family account. Now that second part of that I think is crazy,
absolutely,
awesome.
I had no idea until someone I posted in the kind of funny group about it, and someone's like, "Oh yeah,
Somebody commented.
You can get family plans work too, so you can get like up to 5 of them." I'm like, I didn't abuse it like that. I got one for me and my wife, but
sure. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't go crazy on it, but so yeah, Stadia Premiere, they were giving out the Premiere Edition. If you're listening to this podcast, I would assume you know what that is, but just in case, it's going to come with the controller and the Chromecast Ultra
and a charging cable
package.
And a charging cable for
the controller.
Which is funny.
You get the USB-C.
Because if you just buy the controller, it doesn't come with the charging thing. Because I guess it's
Which
like,
is,
you already have the Stadia Premiere Edition. It comes with a charging cable and wall wart. But it's like, I thought that was funny. So now I have two of those now too. It's like more USB-C cables. Cool.
Yeah, at this point. And as dads, we'll never throw our cables away.
Nope.
It is the law.
Absolutely. I never do.
You can't do it. How dare you? Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I think this is a big play for them to just try to get as many units out there as they can and see if they can't kind of take that market. It's very much the Google Home thing, right? Where every Spotify account can get one and all that.
Or
they give those away like
Google Play Music one. Like I got one recently.
Too last year. Yeah. So yeah, we each picked up 2 of these. Pretty awesome. I just think it's a good play on their part. Get this unit as many people as you can.
And just from the people that I saw in the kind of funny group commenting about on it, saying, "Hey, I'll try it out now. I'll try it out now. I'll try it out now. Oh, I got mine. Thanks for letting me know." Like, no negative comments. I did see one in another group. Someone posted,
"I got my shiny turd" or whatever.
Yeah, I got my polished turd. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. I guess
I just like to do it. Whatever. Okay.
Outside of that comment, the most negative thing I saw was, of course, I'll take a free Chromecast Ultra.
Yep.
Like admitting that maybe they didn't really care about the controller, but like it changed. Like me and you,
but they'll have it, so I'm guaranteed we'll try it.
Right. Exactly. And me and you, for the first time, like I feel like me and you like literally got to experience the narrative change. Because we are ones that when we post about Stadia, it just gets shit on every single time, and people talk crap and they hate on it, and it's like the meme thing to do. This, like you already mentioned, this was one of the very first times I saw you post something, and it was generally positive. People were like, "This is cool, got it, can't wait to try it, gonna check it out." You know, asking questions about demos to check out. That was like the aha moment. And I'll say I got 3 of my friends to get it. And then one of my friends was so impressed by it, he got 3 of his friends and his dad to order one of these and get them to check it out. And another one of those first 3 buddies of mine, he was texting me yesterday. He's like, honestly, if Stadia can start getting AAA titles day one,
which they are,
I'm not probably going to pull trigger on next gen. He's like, I don't buy a lot of games day one anyways, but like, cool. Cyberpunk is coming here. I know Assassin's Creed is going to be here eventually. Well, it is there now, but he's waiting for the Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah.
And he was just like, this literally has almost changed my mind on even jumping in next gen because I'm so impressed by the tech.
I know.
And he was one who was typically one to trash on it.
And that, I'm not going to bury a lead on a prediction, but it's like, it's good timing too, because people are waiting for are sitting there trying to beat out bots to get in to get the pre-orders for the
PlayStation
PlayStation
and
and the
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah, and they
they're
can't
fighting
find them.
Can't find them. So, like my one friend was trying, he missed it by one person. Like, so like the people that are waiting still for next gen that want something close to it in terms of like speed of like the loading and everything. That it's not quite. I'm sure it's not quite as fast as you're experiencing, but even still, like I remember back in Destiny 2, people were the jokes about Destiny 2 on console was like, oh, if you like go from one planet to another planet, you can go do your laundry, you can go make yourself a
Right.
sandwich and eat it while you wait for it, like you can go use the
Yeah.
bathroom, like because of how long the load times were. And people are like, oh, when playing on Stadia, I lose all that. I get no laundry done now, like it was like a
Right.
joke. So it still is a step in the right direction from what other console games are experiencing.
It was wild to see how much he like flipped the praise button of like, oh, is Google just gonna kill this like they do everything else? He's a big Android person, so he tries to support Google, but he also sees a lot of their faults, and so
Yeah.
he was just, and he's also very much Chris, if you're listening, he very much is a self-identified pessimist. Like he always thinks the worst about things, and so when he finally got his hands on this, he was like, this shit works
Yeah.
really well.
Yep.
And like almost every single day he's now we also work together, so we have the same inter-office chat system. Almost every single day I'm getting a chat update about what he tried on Stadia and how pumped he is. And like we should bring him on the show at some point as a fresh convert.
Sure.
So,
No,
it was funny.
yeah, it's funny. It really is. Just how it all works out. I mean, no, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how well this does for them.
Me too.
And yeah, I mean, it's just getting more of that whole thing out there.
Yeah. And Stadia continues to grow. Not only are they giving it out for units, which I think is a huge way to get people in and get more people talking about your service and watch that snowball effect of that kind of water cooler talk about, yeah, I got my free Stadia and it was dope as hell. And like you start creating that FOMO in people. But obviously they're also increasing on new features, which leads us to our next story. Look at that segue.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful.
So yeah, we got some great new features with some very long waited with
Yeah.
messages.
Some were promised early
Which
on.
I haven't said it here still because I haven't updated the doc. They actually pushed it I think yesterday to United States. It was in Europe they had it live. I think some countries.
Sure.
But now it is live in USA.
Nice.
And they have family sharing, capture sharing, which is another like, where is this? Like you make Google Photos. How
Right.
can you not figure this out? Have a link to my Google Photos account.
That's all I need.
Yeah, exactly. And
I want to go into Google Photos and I want a Stadia folder.
yeah, like how hard is that? It's still not that, but it's better. Like it gives
Sure.
you like a link to do it. Like it's a little. It could be better, but it's
A little McClunky, but not the
Yeah.
worst thing.
Yeah, I haven't played with it too much, but I tried the menus. Yeah, family sharing is big, and then account link sharing, like so I can like share a link to my account so someone can like see my account that added me as a friend. Which
Instead of
cool.
sharing your username.
Yeah, I think that I've seen a few people post on Twitter. I haven't checked it out much, but I've seen some people post their account like.
Okay.
Yeah, I think did I get it all? Because there was I had in here
There's a post via Reddit as well.
which is from this official family sharing, capture sharing the web via mobile and web captures. Oh, that's the one I was. Captures including game chat audio. So your own voice will be recorded in your captured video. So I think you can toggle that on and off too. I think it's permissions, but
okay.
But yeah, that was the other one. So yeah, cool stuff. What was it? In the Stadia profile enhancements, they also added, we've updated your Stadia profile to include information such as owned games, friends list, and presence. So,
and then added shortcuts that allow you to make quick player actions, such as inviting other players to your party.
That's maybe what I was seeing.
Good quality of life stuff.
Yeah. Mostly that's all quality of life stuff. I think the family sharing is really big just because you can literally, I can add, if I really wanted to, I could add you to my family plan and we could share games across. I think there's still limits on it. To some degree. I really haven't looked at what the full. I mean, I haven't clicked on the Help Center article that's there, but yeah, you can like share your library across, and you can actually one thing I thought was cool, like, so if you're, say you have an account for your son, and
Right.
you want to have him access your library, but you don't want him playing any M-rated games, you can actually individually select each game you can share with him,
Oh,
or,
excellent.
within your family in general, I think. But
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool. Like if you have a kid and they're like, yeah, I don't want him playing a Doom Eternal, but I'll gladly let him play the Garden Between. Like so, that kind of stuff. So cool
Flip
features.
that. I'm a good parent. So he gets to play Doom Eternal first. Then he can go play his indie baby games. But he needs to prove himself against demons.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So no, really good update overall.
Yeah.
I actually really like the interface for the messaging too. I know I messaged you and you didn't get it back, but it's actually really crisp and clean. Like, please.
Need to go look. You've told me you sent me so many messages, and
Yep.
I feel terrible.
Well, I
All
sent
right,
you
I will
messages
check
before it
those
was
messages.
live to see if it went through as well, because there was Gem at Gem Stadia on Twitter and YouTube. Check out his stuff. He posted like a link, like, oh, if you go to this link, it's live. You can use messages, but it's like all in some I don't want to choose a link, but Northern European country as language, and I don't understand what it was, but I did go to the messages and send you some messages, and you did not get them clearly. And then I sent you
I'm
one
here.
after it was live in America, and you didn't see it. Yeah,
That's a really nice interface.
it actually is pretty clean.
It looks like your typical messenger interface, which I really dig.
It's really clean. I like it. I'm like, can I just can
God,
Google,
4
can I
days.
just change this to be Google?
Can you imagine if
messages?
this was your standard messaging app?
Yeah, I wish it looked that clean. So yeah, that was kind of cool seeing that all pop. And it's again all good timing that they're doing. It's gonna be the year anniversary, so they're popping all that stuff up,
Right.
and they're doing the free bundles. So hopefully, with the influx of new people, they'll see all these features. See that is a fully fleshed out thing because Google had one bad day and they're still backpedaling from that one bad day. Like, granted, they had more than one bad day. They
Sure.
needed to have some features that weren't there in games, but they had one bad day where people had a really bad experience and talked about it, and they didn't stop talking about it.
Right.
So.
And they've not been able to really recover, but I feel like these are a lot of the big steps going forward that are important. New features also mean new games, which is pretty cool. So that leads us to our next title. We have some new games coming to Stadia, which is pretty, well, not coming to, but are now on
They're all
Stadia.
live, yeah.
So all of these are now currently live. We have Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle.
Yeah, which that was one of the demo games we got previously.
Yep. Just Dance 2021. What?
Yeah, I mean, they
mostly that franchise. Nothing to do with Stadia. In that franchise on any console, I just don't get. But that's okay.
I mean, people still like those games. I would still play those. Maybe, I don't know.
Not for me, but that's right on.
Sometimes you just gotta dance. Come on,
you have to just dance in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
We also got some Family Feud, which I'm excited to check out. Gaming Simulator 19. Edition.
That's a typo. That's a farming simulator, which is odd because they already had the game on there, but it's the premium edition.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a typo.
There is something called Gaming Simulator, right? Where you build your own gaming PC.
There's Game Making Tycoon, I think. Maybe there is Game Maker.
I want to say there's a gaming simulator, and you literally just build your own PC. If that was recorded, I apologize. One of my dogs just dropped a bone on our hardwood floor, and that was so loud. Okay. And then we have Little Big Workshop, Arai and the Secret of Seasons, and then not necessarily a new game, but I just thought it was worth noting. They extended the Immortals demo all the way to release. They did announce that it would be available until the game releases in its full glory. This is something that on the last episode, me and you both gushed about and loved on. I think all those people, if you're listening and you got that fancy new free Premiere Edition, this is also worth checking out.
Also smart of Ubisoft to do that.
Yes,
so,
totally. Also, I will say that them extending it so not only did they extend this demo all the way to launch, they did announce some new pre-order bonuses. So I am going to tell you that I think you are right. Me and you have been talking about Ubisoft Plus and when it will launch, and you have been fairly adamant about saying it's not going to come until after Immortals because they want to grab as many pre-order sales as they can, and then they'll launch it. At first, I was like, will they? Maybe they're just going to see how many pre-orders they can snatch, but they'll launch it sooner than that. The big push on the pre-order and everything they're trying to give away, I'm now convinced that we're not going to see Ubisoft until after Immortals, like you said.
Yeah. And they actually, I got an email. I need to go claim it because I was on my work computer and it had a firewall, so I couldn't do it. But I guess for doing the demo, you get some sort of free in-game something for Immortals. So check your emails from Ubisoft. Dope. But yeah, I just it's something that makes sense to me. They're marketing and they're pushing pre-orders. Like literally, once you finish the demo, the first thing they do is, hey, click here to pre-order.
Yeah.
Like clearly, they want you to pre-order. They want to get $60 or $80 because they want to get the premium gold edition and all that stuff. So yeah, they want to get that money and then have you subscribe afterwards,
right?
Because you like the game so much. Like, you can get all the rest of their library if you like this game so much.
Yeah. In a rare moment of self-control, I'm holding off on that and Valhalla specifically until
and I'm hearing great things about Valhalla. So
me too, and it's really difficult to wait, but here we are.
I just want to say, of these games, the one I actually really want to try, and back to Gem actually did a little video of this game. A Little Big Workshop actually looks like a freaking joy to play.
That was the only one I actually wasn't.
Oh, I had no idea about it before watching his playthrough of it. A quick look.
Yeah, looking up some images. This looks.
It looks cute. It's like a little sim game where you're building like the whole like engine, almost like an engine building of like, oh, you had to have this workbench to make this thing, and you're completing things. I like those games. They're good little like, hey, just not idle games, but like games that you can just chill and relax with. I think I'm actually like accomplishing something instead of like. I know a lot of people like Animal Crossing for a similar reason because it's relaxing, but like I feel like at least I'm never accomplishing anything in Animal Crossing that's productive. I'm always like moving towards like something. Like I love playing the like sim games like City Skylines or like the old Sim City stuff, like the tycoon game. So it has the same kind of vibe, and I like those as a little time kind of time waster, just kind of just fun to play around with.
So. I dig. Yeah, that's looks cute. I'm excited to check it out.
Also, the people that if you did get a Stadia Premier Edition and you have to just make your account, you get $10 vouchers still. They're still giving those away to new members. So this is a game where I'm like debating like, do I on my wife's account buy the game and family share it to myself?
Yes, that's just called being a smart consumer.
But it feels like it's a game that's going to be on Pro in like 3 months. But I kind of want to play it right now. But then it's like I have so many other games to play.
True, so that library is growing.
Yeah, like I still have Super Hot to finish, and Monster Boy. I'm still.
Our dynamic is hilarious to me. Like I spent that $10 so fucking early. I was just like, oh, this sounds good. Take it. And then you're like, every week we get on this show, and you're just like, I just don't know.
I use my voucher. No, I use my voucher. I use my wife's new voucher.
Now you got to use your wife's. That's right.
No, my voucher I use on Super Hot Mind Control Delete because I literally spent $0 on it because it was
right.
25 on retail, on sale for 15. I had a $10 voucher and I had over $5 in Google Rewards credit, so I paid.
That's right. I remember that now. My bad. You're not quite as fickle as I was claiming.
Yeah. Did you save yours all the way for Baldur's Gate or no?
Yeah, that's what I used it on.
Okay,
I used it on Baldur's Gate. Yep. Yeah. Cool. It's not all sunshine and roses though. Sadly, with Stadia, we did have one piece of kind of a bummer news. I go back and forth on this series. I play it every like 2 to 3 years, I would say. So this doesn't kill me necessarily, but it's still a bummer. FIFA was officially delayed till 2021.
Yeah, and
I saw you tweeting about it, and you were like,
"I like Madden," and I like. They haven't talked about Madden yet, and we're supposed to get the 2 after Jedi, and we don't know which one's first. So it's like, well, when are we gonna get Madden? Then I care more about Madden than FIFA. I like soccer. I'm a big soccer fan. I grew up playing soccer for the first like 13 years of my life. Is pretty much it felt like from the age of 3 to 16, I was playing soccer. I like all the time, so multiple seasons. But yeah, it's a bummer. Just because it's like we're missing the window completely for like the season for both sports. So
I agree with you though.
I feel
I'm more into like Madden and more bummed to hear that,
yeah.
but at the same time, both are a bummer, especially if you were excited about these. It's one of those things like you want Stadia to get the wins, and the losses to me feel like they're a little bit more magnified, just because I feel like they're in an uphill battle. So would have loved to see these come out, but oh well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can even believe this, but can you believe tomorrow, for those of you listening, maybe even day of, Stadia released a year ago.
Yeah.
November 19th, 2019.
It's been a really slow year because of COVID.
Yeah.
But also crazy that it's been a year that we have had Stadia. So
Night City Wire for Cyberpunk, their next one is tomorrow on the anniversary. Do you think they're going to release any big Stadia news? I know we already got the day and date prediction. You're welcome, everyone.
Well, I think you saw my one post in the Kind of Funny group, which was my prediction.
I did.
And it's funny thing is I actually saw a thing on Reddit today, the Stadia Reddit bingo, where it's like all these things like search bar and like all the buzzwords that people use to talk about Stadia and whatnot. And one of them was Gen 2 Blades was one of them. And what I think is going to happen is this is my Gatorade hype moment prediction.
Let's go.
I think you get Gen 2 Blades. First game that's going to be supporting them is Cyberpunk 2077, and it's going to be day and date on we get them on the release of Cyberpunk.
So December 10th, Gen 2 Blades dropping with Cyberpunk.
It makes the most. I mean,
that's a big ass game. I mean, it's
a game that's good. It's a game that won a lot of people, the mainstream, that are still just fighting to try to get a pre-order, get a next gen console that don't have a PC that can run it at full spec. Are holding off. Like, do I get it on PS? Like, I'm not gonna. I guess I'll play on PS4. I guess, and then deal with it not being as pretty as it could be on my PS5. I want to get, until I get a PS5, or you could not get a PS5 and get the same experience on Stadia. So
for that thing you just got for free.
Yeah, you just got for free, or you like don't have to pay any. If you have a laptop and some way or just a Chromecast Ultra you have lying around, or just like you can buy a controller for $70 and play that way too. Like there's. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's a great play. I hope your hype moment is real. I think that'd be amazing to be like, not only are you going to play a day and date, but you get it on this next gen hardware. Part of me thinks that they delayed it till December 10th because they're trying so hard to have the PS5 and Xbox versions ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with that, I hope that it's Blades 2 and that you're absolutely correct.
I'm probably wrong. I'm probably absolutely wrong, but I'm hoping it's the case. Regardless, I think we get a Gen 2 announcement just because, again, on the heels of the console releases, you need to one-up them at this point. Because now you don't have... granted, they stopped talking about 4K and 60 frames, which is smart. But the benefit you had was your tech was ahead of the existing console.
Totally.
In terms of... Theoretically, you had 10 teraflops. You had more raw power than the other consoles, but yet we still see games constantly coming out on Stadia at low frame rates. Example, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla apparently only runs at 30 frames. Of the Ubisoft games, the only one that runs at 60 is The Division 2, which is an odd one to be. Like,
very weird.
Why can't all the other old games they're bringing over right now? Like, I think we didn't put it in the roundup. Wildlands is coming, the one from 2 years ago, whatever.
Yep.
Tom Clancy. That is also runs at, like, is that gonna run at 30 frames? That game or 60 frames? Like, why are all these games that are coming over not running at 60? 60 it's not a big deal breaker for me. I don't really care enough. I'm still the idiot playing on my PS4 on my 1080p TV downstairs because I don't get as much time on the TV up here. the 4K one. So it's like it is what it is. I mean,
See, in the PS5, like I was you a week ago, and then the PS5, like I finally, and I've never been a PC gamer. I put Spider-Man into fidelity mode where it locks you in at 60 frames per second, and it blew my freaking mind.
yeah.
So I think there's enough people out there like you and really traditionally me. But then there's another of the other people that could be the selling point is if you can lock these games in. And I think the Blades are going to be a part of that.
And they're getting,
So
getting the. I mean, maybe it is something tech bottlenecking in the tech that are having issues with it. But I don't know. I mean, some games get it there, so I don't know. But I hope.
let's go.
But yeah, I mean, what do you expect from the anniversary? Any announcements?
I think the Night City Wire. So now I'm going to be Debbie Downer when I'm usually also Mr. Hype with you. I think the Night City Wire, the only reason it's on the Stadia anniversary is because it's also on the last release date we should have had.
Oh, I know.
And so I think they're just trying to keep people excited. Now, if they open this conference tomorrow and say, and we have a little bit of Stadia news at the end, I'm going to lose my freaking mind.
The thing is, like, keeping people excited and hyped is also just depressing people because, like, you could have been playing this game right now, but we suck.
Yeah, so we're going to just try to tell you why we delayed it. Here's my Gatorade hype though, is what I think is if they go ahead and like really lean into the anniversary and everything, I would love to see a demo on Stadia.
That'd be cool.
And that's my hype. Blades 2 is such a better prediction in terms of how much more exciting that'd be. But I could totally see them being like, you know what? You can try this now. The first 2 hours are available via Stadia and see what that does.
I mean, similar with what they did with Mortals Phoenix Rising. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it'll get butts in seats, and
well, now
seats. But
how many controllers did I haven't looked it up, but how many controllers did they send out? How many Premier Editions did they send out?
I know that they sold out in some regions. I know that.
Damn.
Of what they were gonna be like. I guess they already ran that they're allocated. Like we're gonna give away X amount free. They're like already out.
So you have that many controllers out there, and people are like, this is cool. I'll probably check it out. If you come out and go, hey, you can go play the Cyberpunk right now for 2 hours. You can go check it out and really see what this feels like.
But Aaron, you don't even need one of their controllers, Aaron. You only need any controller. Use your PS5 controller. Use your PS4 controller. Use your
no, and for sure. I'll just concede. Fair point.
Yeah, I mean,
good call.
Well, that was the funny thing about like Phoenix is like when that demo came out, I was like, oh well, I don't want to buy the controller to be able to play. Like
you're like, no, just plug something in. You're good.
Use your mouse and keyboard for all I care. Like yeah,
right. So, but anyways, you want to talk about people flooding Stadia and breaking their servers. If they ended this conference tomorrow being like, happy anniversary Stadia, we also threw the demo out there for them. You can go check out the first 2 hours or whatever, or you can go check out this one mission and you are generic Cyberpunk character blank guy, girl, who cares? That's it. But you can play through one whole mission.
I think that would be a big get. I mean, I like that better than my news, but
you do? I like your Blades.
I think it's a bigger marketing moment for them if they did that.
For sure,
smarter marketing beat for them too.
I'll give you that. Give you that. That gets more people to check out your tech and maybe say, "Holy shit! Pre-order right then and there." So that would be my get hype moment that I would love to see.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
My other prediction I think is that the Xbox, xCloud, or whatever they call it now, they announced that is to more regions now, specifically Japan. I think Japan, Brazil, and Australia. Which
good play.
Japan and Australia, but all three regions are ones that are underserved, by Stadia specifically. But Australia and Japan are ones I hear all the time. Like, oh, I live in I'm the kind of funny group. Like, yeah, I live in Australia. It's not available here.
Right.
I want to try it. I really do, but I actually can't. And I think those are the three big regions. I think South America in general, specifically Brazil, is the biggest. I mean, the biggest country there. So, I think and then people could VPN into something in Brazil and be able to play it. And have less latency if they wanted to. They're in South America outside of Brazil.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I hope we get some sort of a regional announcement because it's something that's been
That'd be nice.
for a year. Like those are 3 big regions that we're having got at least Australia and Japan. Like those would make the most sense.
Here's your ultimate 1-year fantasy is they'll announce more regions tomorrow. Stadia demo for Cyberpunk will happen during the City Wire, the Night City Wire. And you'll get the announcement of your Blades 2. Whether or not it's day and date with Stadia, they're going to say, okay, this is when Blades 2 is coming out. This is when you can expect 2.0.
Yeah. There's
That's your heaven scenario.
Well, there's one thing they could add that would make it even the cherry on top would be, do you think we get a teaser at all of any in-house Stadia game that's not something that they bought from another company? Like I guess I could see them doing one of those because they said they did a partnership with Supermassive and Harmonix.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'd love to see their
teaser of
Supermassive.
one of those 2 games. I think would be really big too.
I want Supermassive for sure.
I mean, I want a first party, but they give us a tease of one of those 2, or like Outcasters, like Shadow Drop tomorrow would be really cool too, because that's the one that they've been pushing a lot. That like more party game. Any of those would be really cool. Like either of those would be really cool. I could see more of the teaser trailer than the Shadow Drop of one of those 2 games.
Okay.
Supermassive would be huge, but they just put a game out, so it did not it's not well received. So
yeah, that's fair.
It's a little bit of a hype.
The final of their like series, right?
No. They're supposed to be like 6 more of those.
Oh no! I thought for some reason this was like one of the later chapters. Gross.
No, they did.
Back to the old drawing board.
What's the first one? I'm blanking on right now. But yeah, this is only the second one. The Dark Pictures anthology.
Damn.
I think it's Dark Pictures anthology or Dark. Yeah. So they're only 2 into like, and supposed to do like 8 possibly. I don't think they make it to 8, but that's what the contract was for.
Damn.
So
okay. Now, here is your most magical of predictions. This is next level hype that will not happen, but it's fun to fantasize. Okay, they're going to cut to a new trailer. All black. Backlights come up. We see a mysterious figure walking forward. Full body. We can see a cape. We cut up a little bit further. You see the ears. It's clearly Batman. He gets ready to throw the batarang. A glow of light hits the batarang out from wherever he was throwing it to.
This isn't happening.
Here comes Harry Potter, and they bought WB.
No. Again, we've talked about this. The IP would not necessarily come with it. They probably get exclusivity, but I doubt that's even the case. But at the same time, I haven't seen any marketing for those games. So like they don't have any marketing deals with anyone, it seems like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That won't happen. They're not buying that studio. That was just a dumb joke.
Yeah.
But
they should buy someone.
Otherwise,
buy me.
Yes. Why not? Let's do it. Otherwise, I'll say this because we put on the doc the anniversary year in review. I would say the first half of Stadia, the first 6 months, I would give a 6 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
I think they stumbled a lot. It took a while. The second 6 months, and specifically the last 3, I'm gonna go 7.5.
Yeah, they definitely have improved greatly in the last little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not here to give them a 10 out of 10, and I think they've still had a lot of missteps, but it just feels like they've just continuously gotten better. So, what do you think takes them, other than the things we talked about, Blades 2 and a few more exclusives? What do you think takes them to the next level in the next 12 months?
I think next 12 months, I think those Outcasters and the other 2 games being 8 or above, like rated games that people want to come to Stadia for.
Yeah.
I think having some level of exclusivity they need to either buy a good game that's coming out next year that either we don't know about or something like that. They need to make some sort of big purchase. I think to
Big studio.
give the naysayers confidence that this will stick around, because there's still the constant joke of, oh, they're gonna kill it in this year anyway. I was listening to Kind of Funny the other day. Him, Greg and Gary were talking about, oh, how much, and Kevin talking about, like, how much longer do you think is out? Like, maybe a year. Like, I'm like, no. Like, they've come out and said, I mean, granted, they're a word, but we have plans until 2023 for Stadia. Like,
yeah,
we have plans through then for Stadia. So I said I figure they're gonna give at least 4 to 5 years is what at the very minimum, because that's the full cycle of it all. So I was just checking Twitter to see if they did post anything out, like, because they haven't posted. I mean, we're saying
no, they've been radio
they're
silent.
Announcing something. I'm like, did they post anything today about it? No, they just. I mean, they've been promoting the new games that just came out. Because Wildlands does come out this week. And Destiny 2 is now free to play, which is another we didn't talk about. It is actually free to play now on Stadia, which is interesting.
Including Beyond Light?
No, just the base game is now free. Because how it used to be is you had to have one of the DLCs to have the game. Because if you weren't a pro member and wanted to play the game still, like, you just wanted to play, say you're one of the random people in the world that wants to play Destiny 2 on Stadia, but not pay for Stadia Pro. So you could play the game for free, the base game for free, but you actually couldn't. You need to buy one of the DLCs somehow to access it. But I believe now it is free to play, so it's kind of a big move to get the free to play. But yeah, I want to see, like, did I miss anything today about them? I think I saw on the Reddit they're doing some sort of community event thing. But I haven't seen nothing on Twitter today. So.
I think
we get posts tomorrow. I think we do get posts tomorrow. I think that's where we get announcements. Like, hey, here's a thing on Twitter, and it's a video, and
it's almost why you don't think they should. You really can't predict a major announcement, right? Otherwise, they'd want to hold like an event or a connect or something, and they've been quiet.
Which is why I think if you get a teaser of one of those two games, just like a teaser trailer on Twitter, like that's like. But again, outside of if they announce something like the demo you talked about at the Night City Wire, I could see something like that.
Yeah, that would be a big play. Kind of otherwise, you almost think because they know about their missteps, they're almost ignoring their 1 year. Let's be an anniversary later to talk about how far we've come.
Again, I don't think about how far do they come, but I think they want to give the people that have been the founders that have been around for a year, something to look forward to for the next year. If you will.
We also have a War Table and Night City Wire tomorrow.
The War Table's tomorrow?
Yeah. And they're apparently going to announce Kate Bishop, and a lot of people think they're going to just shadow drop her.
Well, they talked about it being end of
October. So, and they've lost a shit ton of their player base.
Yeah, so I think Kate Bishop would bring a lot of them back, because Kate Bishop
any new character. Why not?
In that universe, it's a game I really do want to play, especially because you talked so highly about it.
I did have a lot of fun
of the single player. But
Endgame needs some love,
and I heard it's already they're ready to have a discount to like $30. I would not be shocked to see a massive, not on Stadia obviously, but other realtors. So at least I saw someone post about that. I don't know if that's actually substantiated.
If they don't bounce their player count back with a couple of character drops, I think you can take it to the bank. It'll be a pro game.
Well, I think Chaz Boswick, right? I mean, I got his name right. Who passed
Chadwick
away.
Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman. I knew I was gonna flip that around. Oh my god! I knew I was gonna do it.
There's just screen grab. It never fails.
Me not knowing names. I blame this.
Chaz Boseman, Montana.
Yeah. There's a fantasy football podcast I listened to, and the one guy, he butchered this one player's name. It was Daryl Henderson, and he called him Darnell Anderson by accident. So So now the joke is
No.
that they just refer to him purely as Darnell Anderson on the
Oh
show.
my god.
And it's so funny because like most people that are they'll correct you like no we mean this character guy, don't worry, like, but it's so funny, he just butchered it so badly. But yeah, but I know his passing, they delayed some announcements for the Wakanda stuff for that game because of his passing and the timing of his passing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
out of
definitely
respect
messed some
for
things
him.
up.
So yeah, I know that I mean, they still could have had something else in there, but yeah. Um, yeah. Otherwise, in the review, I mean, yeah, I agree with you overall. It was a good first, fine first year. I think they had a
Yeah.
lot of growth. I think it took them a lot longer on
Growing
certain things.
pains.
Like you said, like I finally got messaging. Like, hallelujah! Like that took a little too long for a company
Sure.
that's made like 17 messaging apps in the past. Like for them to get
Allo, Hangouts, Messenger. Did you ever
Yeah.
try Allo?
I loved Allo.
Me
Allo is
too.
fantastic.
My
And I
favorite
talked to
messaging app
one
that's
person
ever
on
been
it.
created.
I talked to one person on it.
There were 5 of us
Yeah.
that we were very adamant about Allo, and I miss Allo so much.
It was fantastic.
Rip Allo.
Yeah, I used a lot of Hangouts too. Actually, when I was at my old internship, we used to use Hangouts for in. We had like Jabber we could use, but then like in office we just use Hangouts because it was just
Yeah, that's what we did too.
so yeah.
Rip.
But yeah, just stuff like that. I wish they had gotten to sooner, but
Sure.
I'm glad they got it out now when it's really the big push. I think at this point, so that's for our beta year.
That's our beta year. That's our year in review.
Yep.
I do think this last story is absolutely worth mentioning because we've talked so much about Blades. This last story comes from our good friends at Stadia Source. Catch me on their live stream tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out with those guys as they celebrate 1 year of Stadia. I'll be part of their Family Feud segment. We're not actually playing it on Stadia. We're going to do a homemade version, but I am very excited to see what that's going to be like. And there's a ton of special guests. I will not be on the whole time. I think I'm slotted for like half an hour. So come check that out. Come hang out with those guys. They're wonderful. Me and you have both been on their podcast. They're gracious hosts, beautiful people. Love them to death. But straight from their website, we have the Chorus developer briefly talks about Gen 2 Stadia Blades. I won't read all the intro to this. I think some of the quotes are what's crucial here. And you had mentioned right before we started recording this first quote, "Oh, baby." He says, the current platform Stadia is still a bit green. With the new platform, Stadia 2.0, the infrastructure is superior. Hypothetically, it should be able to produce 8K visuals at 120 FPS, baby. That's the dev kit we have. So they are working on things in 2.0,
which is cool. And again, we've had over the last 6 months, people talk about Gen 2. Like people have like all pretty much, we've had absolute confirmation Gen 2 exists, so we know it exists. Like it's not like we're making it up. Obviously, this is another quote that solidifies that. But getting more like in terms of what to expect per again, this is theoretical, so hypothetically, so similar to the fact like on the PS5 and Xbox, they say, oh, 8K, 120 frames per second.
Right.
Not every game's going to support that.
Exactly.
And by
he's
saying
just talking about what's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And well, that's the thing with Stadia. Stadia said 4K 60 frames, and it's like, oh, these games aren't 4K 60 frames.
Right. You promised this, which they didn't. They just said this is a possibility with this
tech. And then Stadia got a lot of crap for it, and now all the people are defending the consoles when they say 8K 120 frames per second. And everyone's like, oh, no, they mean up to. They mean up to. Like, yeah, we said that with Stadia, and you all yelled at us for it. So, but yeah, that's the biggest quote, I think, of it.
Yeah, they did ask him if it was only a rumor to the community. So what are you saying? Is this news to us? They then asked him if it's currently being developed on Gen 1 or 2 dev kits, and he mumbles, what's Stadia 2.0? They all joked and laughed. But I thought this was interesting. One more quote, though. They all laugh and then ask him if course will for Stadia visually run closer to PS4 or PS5. He states it's going to look closer to the PS4, but they are maximizing each platform individually and that he mostly uses Stadia for testing because they're working remotely and the builds are easier to access. So if you can get devs excited to create on Stadia, I think that's going to do so much for the platform. So that's the only reason I thought that was worth bringing up.
Yeah, and then the next one is he says that they currently cannot compare the current gen to PS5 or XSX, but it's really close. But 2.0 it will be. Oh, sorry, but by 2.0 it will be. So I'm curious with that. Oh, just like of the current platform, like how. Okay, so it's I guess there's nothing above that. So yeah, the interview will be about the same. Interview asked if it would be about the same as PS5. He answered yes. So
yeah, that's huge.
That's big.
And then I just caught this quote. The interviewer also asks, with the news about Google paying Capcom $10 million for Resident Evil, were you guys approached or paid to bring Chorus to Stadia? He states that the game has been in development, and this is important because we've been talking about whether or not they're going to just kill this platform. He states the game has been in development for 3 years, and that Stadia was one of the 5 platforms since the beginning. So Google has been investing, developing, and pushing this for well more than the 1 year that it's been out. And I think that investment doesn't just get tossed out a window in the next year.
Yeah, and then they had a little thing that he tweeted out to cover his rear end afterwards. No, I did not confirm 2.0. What I did was talk about the rumor specs and tie that with my line of thought. As we develop our games at the max potential of our platform, if 2.0 is indeed confirmed, we'll be happy to explore this potential the platform has to offer. No, you're programming on that platform. Don't lie to yourself.
Yeah, but come on, buddy. You were pretty blunt about it. Yeah. So, cool. Yeah, well, that does it for our Stadia news. What do you think about this 2.0 business, other than the fact that we both agree he's...
Oh, I mean, he's not. I mean, he just doesn't want to be the person to lose their job because he leaked it, but
called it. Yeah.
But other people have already confirmed it, like anonymous sources that like people that I used to listen to them a lot more. Now that we started podcasting about it, I stopped really listening to them. But Stadia Cast, which is like the one that I guess the bigger of all Stadia content creators, they have more ties to developers that they reach out to or whatnot. And they said the developer that they know and trust has confirmed to them that Stadia 2.0 does exist. And there's been a few other devs that have come out and kind of said it more publicly as well. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll again just level the playing field again in terms of specs with Stadia, because right now, like, clearly the 10 point whatever teraflops they had, it wasn't quite to the level of the PS5 stuff. So it's just in the Xbox Series X. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Sorry, I got a little distracted because I closed the dock, and I have this beautiful, speaking of Stadia, background on my desktop. And so I was looking at our recording, and my face just turned bright red, and I was like, oh my God. So I apologize that I looked away and got a little distracted there at the end. It was terrifying. It was like demonic just took over. Sweet. 2.0 is real.
Yep.
That's all.
Can't wait.
What a goob. Awesome. Well, as always, it's so much fun recording with you.
Yeah.
To anyone who took the time to listen to this, I just want to say thank you so much. And one of those awesome premiere editions could be yours. All you need to do is follow us on Twitter at Speak of Stadia. And when we get to 200, I think we're going to give one of those bad boys away. 200 followers. That's what we're shooting for.
Get us up there.
So
pump up those numbers.
I don't know what you're doing with your mic over there.
I'm just messing with you.
Turning me on. Awesome. Well, this has been another wonderful episode of Speak of Stadia. Oh my God, I just called out our Twitter. Speaking of Stadia, thanks so much for joining us, and we can't wait to talk about the future of gaming with you next time.